Clara May Carter was born in Chatham, Virginia, a small but wonderful agricultural town where she grew up in a close-knit community of family, friends, and relatives. She graduated from Northside High School in Gretna, Virginia. As a young teen, she wrote poems and shared them with her family and friends. Clara moved to New York after graduation, where she continued to write poetry. She later joined the United States Navy and served 6 years before moving back to the East Coast, settling into Washington, D.C. She currently lives in the state of Maryland, where she has been a resident for several years. Inside My Soul, Poems and Free Verse is a collection of poems Clara has written over the years. This is her first book, published November 2019, and it can be found under the name of C. May Carter. Her poems are based on different facets of life, gleaned from family history, observing people's behavior, or upon hearing random parts of a conversation. Her poetry may lead you to ponder your own interpretation, for each poem has its own unique story. I met Clara a bit ago in a spiritual writing group, and she read her work and moved me to tears. And she's my heart and my inspiration and my church sister. And she's been blessed with such a gift. It's a spiritual gift to write and touch each other's hearts. I would encourage all of you to tell your story. And guess what? Clara can show you how.
Hi, everyone. My name is Clara, and I'm very thankful to be here. And I'm very thankful for the AV ministry, Jackie, everyone who helped make this Zoom meeting possible, and of course, the audience. So without further ado, I shall read. Can you see me? I shall be reading from my book, Inside My Soul, Poems and Free Verse. The first poem I'm going to start off with is Inner Knowing. And this poem was inspired one day when I was just down on myself, because I'll give you a little brief history summary of my poems. My poems are mostly a reflection of my inner thoughts, especially in my later teen and my young adult into my adult life, of my perceptions and thoughts based on my belief system that I had built over the years, whether I was aware of building it or not. But life caused me to ponder and ask these questions of myself. But I hope in sharing them with you, I pray that you glean something for yourself from there, or be inspired or encouraged to look in other avenues. My first poem is An Inner Knowing. There is nothing lacking with thee. You are as you supposed to be. Don't feel sorry for yourself, nor compare you to anyone else. You possess abilities to accomplish much. Be encouraged. Don't give up. Nurture your ideas and believe that dreams can be achieved. Do your best each day in an exceptional way. You may have to do it alone until your purpose is done. The next one is unique. Let us be ourselves. Our truths need not to be those of someone else. There is no need to compare with another. We are unique, each in our own truth. While the need to feel superior, to be better than, our purpose is to love with joy that flows from within. Embrace our imperfections as well as our so-called perfections, like a rainbow in various degrees of radiance. Thank you. Next poem, Shadows and Adaptations. I was inspired to write this poem by a person in my writing group who was writing a book or story about shadows, shifting shadows. So this poem came from that story. Shadows and Adaptations. Time, a measuring point for existence, an elusive vapor sought for eternity's sake. All is timeless. Nothing goes before it. Nothing exists after it except God. Accomplishments of humankind race against time, searching to find ourselves like shadows shift, change shapes, and adopt roles to identify who we are. Frantic ambitions create erratic images of ourselves who rush actions to completion, produce dissatisfactions, feels something is missing, begin a search without end, the purpose for being. A shifting of shadows cannot determine who we are, for the light that shows us the way come from the source from within us, created for our purpose of being. Self-expectations. This was a day of writing, and it was sort of like just letting it flow. I didn't try to rhyme this or anything. It was just thoughts going through my mind. And it's called Self-Expectations. Like water seeking its own level, our psyches search for facts that support our existing belief system. Methods we used in the past to handle unpleasant situations enable us to erect a belief system that support expected results, whether or not we were aware of the process, what caused it to come about. Disappointments are experienced because our perceptions over time has convinced us to accept slanted realities as truths, such as, I don't deserve this, or I'm not good enough. We aim to put our best foot forward, hopefully to represent the true self. Perhaps an image we wish to portray and urge to camouflage our true selves, but in time, all comes to light. I believe that the real purpose of the human race is to love and accept our individual uniqueness and trust ourselves. Have a positive attitude and establish a new belief system that can lead to desired outcomes. The intent is to gain a different perception of self, not at the expenses of others, but trust the real I of being ourselves. Oh, that beautiful stillness. That point just before you go to sleep and you think about things that happen through the day, the pleasant things, the unpleasant things. But just before you slide into that sleep, there's the stillness that just lets you glide right into the sleep. And that inspired this poem, The Beautiful Stillness. At night, in that beautiful stillness where silence prevails, sleep overtakes me. Moments of nostalgia nudges across yesterday's memories shared with loved ones who have passed on. I am grateful for the yesterdays that led me to my todays. I appreciate each moment of life in its fullness, that all things work out for the goodness of all who have a brave heart in spite of what life has imparted. Give praise to the Holy One. Realize that today is always now. Tomorrow is not promised. Yet we hope to have another chance to accomplish goals not completed today. We live on by faith. I think this one speaks for itself. Thinking about love. Love encompasses all areas of our life. Some of us show love for others and forget to nourish ourselves. Obstacles and challenges may have required you to delay doing things you had begun. Your goals and dreams are a part of you, and the ability to accomplish them plays a role in completing you. You must begin. You must begin wherever you are. No turning back to recoup imagined losses. Experiences of past years are not erased, but are tossed into the present. You're just out of step with the now if you only focus on the future. This moment in time, are you still crying for life to work for you? Where are the plans you drew and didn't see them through? The things you were afraid to try as time slipped by. Arise, eliminate doubt, and work things out. Take a risk. Take a risk. Pray for guidance the right way. Practice wisdom in everything. Become a winner. Trust in God and do your part. Keep an attitude of thankfulness that abounds, and do not let problems wear you down. Another poem, Look Within. I did a lot of talking to myself those days. Look within the deepest part of you. Simplicities of life can overwhelm, becomes difficult to comprehend when focused on life's challenges. Look within your heart. Know that you truly matter, that you are validated by the one who formed you in your mother's womb. Love and trust yourself. Accept the all of you.
I like that one.
Crossroads. And I was at a crossroads when I wrote this poem, and this was written several years ago. Time speeds on while we stand still, afraid to move through loss of will. Despair thrown against the sky, pride rides high like a crested wave, and dreams buried in shallow graves on barren slopes with hopes suspended on the by and by. Crossroads of life, choices made that might lead to paths not chosen, become as statues, frozen. Fears a profound loss, hesitates afraid to cross the unknown and find the truth that will release what binds you in its grasp due to beliefs formed in the past. Awake now, see from afar, recognize who you are. Recover your life and revive hope. Retrieve those dreams buried on barren slopes.
That's good.
Depression. I do think that, well, especially during COVID-19, we have been through moments of depression, but this one was written way before then. It says, what is this heavy darkness that presses up on me under its strong currents? My own make feeble attempts to escape the heaviness that constrain me at the core of my being. Dire expressions etch weary lines upon my face. I tread deep waters trying not to drown. The ghost of hollowed beings linger within my mind, a history of deeds with memories of yesterday, stuffed like in musty trunks, hidden in the shadows on the cobweb eaves in an old attic. Within my mind, I turn silent pages where words have begun to fade. But voices can still be heard. You are not good enough. Resonates loudly. You are not good enough. I try not to listen. Heaviness presses upon me. How can I live where I have never been? I will stand under the tree of knowledge and cover myself with fig leaves. Build a raft of endurance and soar above the dark currents. I will not drown.
All right.
Life struggles. Something that baby boomers heard their parents say a lot. A good life is hard to obtain, and money don't grow on trees. Mom and dad on survival's row planted thoughts unawares. Make do with what you have, don't wish for more. A wise mind receives, studies what is perceived, realizes past beliefs influence the present and deliver what the mind conceives as real and believes. Words spoken indeed, whether positive or negative, it can become self-fulfilling prophecies. Nightmares scream. And this is from a dream that I dreamed the latter part of last year. And when I woke up that morning, I had to write this poem called Nightmares Scream. I dreamed I was buried alive. Help me, I cried. I knew everyone who was there. Quietly they stared and acted as if they didn't even care. Shrugged their shoulders and walked away. It was hard to breathe beneath the rubble of what my life had become. All my support was gone. It got dark and started to rain. I was left alone once again to survive on my own, but I was the one to blame for my struggle and pain. I awakened with a loud scream, searched within for what it means. I cried, let go and let God. I must believe within my heart. The answer lies within. If I just believe, I can live my purpose passionately and know that inside me, I have all that I need and be the best I can be. Be grateful that I, like everyone, is unique. Oh, someone you know. And we all know a someone. Someone you may know who is afraid that truth seeks its way into the heart. Truth pervades into its depth. Truth claims its own, make itself known. Gains a new consciousness and soar on weak wings of hope. Delusions fall away and release illusions of the mind. Enlightenment is the way out of darkness and ignorance of erroneous perceptions which help to shape your private world. Believe that you can make it on your own, that you have the potential to live your purpose from within. With Christ, all things are possible for the one who believes and moves forward in faith. who does the requirements to accomplish their goals will make their dreams come true.
Mhm.
Waiting. I'm very guilty of this one. Waiting for the right time in my mind. I mean, I used to be guilty of this one. Let me correct that. Waiting for the right one in my mind sounds good, but not worth trying. Does not compute buying daydreams aspired to, excuses overused. The weight of fear produced scenarios not near to being real except how it feels. What if I try? If not successful, was it a lie? Intrudes my mind. Whispers, it was not the right time. Should I hide my talents from everyone or just move on? A new attempt to claim success is tossed into the future net with a hand over my heart. I schedule another day to start.
Okay, that's good.
Nice, nice.
Thank you. Thanks. Why? That's a why. Why? All whys can go on forever and ever. So I'll just start with this why. Why am I here? Choked on fear? The leaning of my sexuality, a circle of duality entangled within the warped fear. I'm not there, but here. Low self-esteem, the insatiable imposter, create chaos. Nothing appears proper. Derisions cling like a magnet. I just can't stand it. A maelstrom of thoughts remain within my brain, but try as I might, I hold on to the words tight. I wipe away my tears and let go of the fears. My whole self I shall now own. Know that I'm not alone. Bonding. Suspended in the wind. Collected memories filtered through my mind. Wonders what could have been if I hadn't if I had not procrastinated over uncertainties of unknown destinies. Had I chosen a different path, what could have changed if success had been claimed? Forward I lean, moving again. Each step a new beginning erases the yesterdays that linger. The beginning and the end, this is a poem I found after Cynthia's death. She had written the poem and I think she hid it knowing that I would find it one day. The beginning and end. In a world of shadow and light, a heart beats the innocence of life. Stranglehold of society credence, stifle the evolution of being. A violent roar screams out, silence shadows the night, shadow catches light. Society weeps for that heart that ceases to beat. Will it ever be recognized that evolution of a soul cannot be controlled by a lie? And this one is by Cynthia Powell. And it's also in the book. And it only makes sense that I read the next one that I found after her death. It's called Hourglass. Sand in an hourglass. Each grain dropped one upon the other, taking away a part of our life that we cannot capture. Time infinitely reliving and revolving moments in our minds that we wish to discard or hold on to. Interpretation, determination, reciprocation, love, respect. In honor, all built strong within the family unit, because each molecule of our being, like each grain of sand, was created with the grace of our Lord for a destination that must be traveled. Distance creates separation, but never be the tie. Broken for a family built on the foundation of God's love. That line which joins us is held together with the hands of salvation. Hear these words I speak to you. Discard all the insincerities, negativity that the world wants to thrust upon you, and embrace the warmth of the sun upon your face. Remember, anything God Almighty creates is beautiful, for he makes no mistakes. Falling grains of sand, taking away a part of you that is not finished. Frustrations built upon uncertainties of time can leave you feeling desolate. Hold on and stay strong. That empty space inside of you will be healed. Your destination of life revealed. Answers to questions cleared in the grains of sand in the hourglass of God's time. The mirror. I'll let you all know that I used to have a huge situation or problem, I will call it, with self-esteem. So the mirror came from this poem also. Mirror on the wall. An image materializes. Is that me crying? I feel emptiness inside. Suffocation, no levitation, feet bound to the floor, and there is no door. Image in the mirror. Is it I, a woman, a daughter, a sister, a friend, a mother, a female, a lover? Each day I put on a show, cannot let anyone know, shall not let them see my tears, nor know my fears. I have chosen to hide from prying eyes. A life of paradoxes, I'm not free. How can it be when I have judged me? Mirror on the wall shows all. Thank you all so much, so much, so much, so much. The passage, and I'm still talking about grains of sand. Grains of sand upside down, trapped within an hourglass with its silent chimes, pause at last. The passage of time sometimes confuses the mind. Like spokes within a wheel, converges toward the ideal, remembered promises from years past. To destination places where people rushed to arrive there, blinded to what was right, embraced the wrong, vocalized by deceitful tongues, a discordant melody loudly sung. By many sisters and brothers who smile but do not trust each other. Sands upside down again. Emphasize the reign of ruler in high places who ignore people of different races, attaches the term minority to appropriate a specific society, and dare us to ask, why place us last? A river of tears flowed many years and created too many divisions caused by confusion. Through our struggles to be free, to claim our rights, our destiny, our privilege to be, we marched for liberty. Time. Good old time. It's always around. Time warped, momentum conceals speed. The ever revolving earth revives itself at each new birth. A creation that constantly evolves beneath the golden sun. Shadows of a transitory past where worthy causes are cast. Good deeds follow unless ideals aggravate the masses and vanish in the fracas. Time moves forward. It cannot be captured. Time flows through us and around us. Continue with time. This is time number 3. Time measured progress. Improved technologies sped things up, educated ourselves, built careers that lasted years, raised our children who became adults, began the cycle again. Time runs out before we make time for ourselves to fulfill our dreams and just enjoy being. Where did the time go? Hope. This poem was written for an occasion at Mary's house. I believe it was in the year of 2018. And it was about people who are homeless. This inspired this poem, Hope. I am aware that you stare as you pass by and avoid looking me in the eye. Do you recognize and realize that I, as you, desire a good life too? Though you may think otherwise, I am in front of you, very much alive. My endless walking in the streets claim no joy looking. I claim no joy looking as if I've been beat. But there is no end to my hope. For me, life is much more than the sadness on my face. And many of us have been displaced. Doctors, lawyers, fathers, mothers, extended families, and sisters and brothers. Living on dirty streets, hand extended, beg for basic needs. Old tents and cardboard boxes used for shelter, unable to protect us from the changing weather. Where a clamoring night sounds smother dreams and darkness is disturbed by frightened screams. Though physically worn, I continue moving on. I shall not give up, for there is hope. I prayed for a good home to keep, a safe place where my family can sleep. Will you then recognize me? Thank you. In this poem, I'm More Than, I wrote this for Disability Week when I was working on my job, and they asked me to do a poem for that week, and it's entitled, I Am More Than. I am more than my ability to walk or not to walk, to talk or not talk, to see or not see. I am more than abilities or disabilities that describe what I can or cannot do with my life or how I move along or get work done. I am more than words used to express feelings for the reasons for being or thoughts of others not like me. Where my life truly matters, I can perform actions that change facts. I accept as well as respect hopes and dreams. I am about my purpose in life. Whatever I have chosen to be, I am more than you see. I am.
Clara,
Yes.
I would like for you to pick your last and favorite poem because I want to give people a chance to ask you some questions. And
Okay.
then we will open the lines, and people, you can put in your questions in the chat box or you can come on live and speak, whichever you prefer. But Clara's going to select a poem for us to close out.
Okay, I would like to end with this poem. It's a love poem. It's love yourself. Love yourself. You are fantastic. Never mind what size you are. You are beautiful. Yes, to every inch of you. Look closer at yourself. Of the millions of sperms, one made its way to an ovary and created a unique you. Whatever your age, you are God's greatest miracle. Your heart pumps blood through thousands of blood vessels without you having to say, circulate all through my body. Your lungs and diaphragm inhale and exhale without your command. You are God's greatest miracle. You have the gift of choice, the ability to think and decide how you act. Many facets display the complete you, the beautiful you, the marvelous you, and the fabulous you. Love yourself always. Thank you. That was the last one, Jackie, as per your request.
Okay.
Oh, can I just do one little thing right here? Just a shorty.
Sure.
It's called projections. Thoughts within projected onto life's panoramic screen of earthly experiences of each individual ejects a story perceived from within.